you're just joining us, welcome to the New Life event. We're talking about LinkedIn and taking it to the next level or whatever I spelled it, because I obviously spelled it wrong. Welcome to the New Life event. That's how it works here. Talk about not looking professional. I can't even spell level. I mean, come on, Susan. But either you love me or you don't, and that's just the way I am. And that's the way you need to be as well. All right, so I am Shauna Siegel, and I am the CEO of One Choice for Your Store, host of Ecom Experts on Webmaster Radio, and I love education. I love it, I love it, I love it, and that's what the New Life event is all about. So please make sure that you give a special thank you to our speakers. We would not be here without our speakers. They are phenomenal, and the education has been amazing. But thank you to you guys for spreading the word. Please, please, please keep doing it. I cannot wait to see the statistics for tonight, for all of today, tomorrow, and I promise I will show you that tomorrow and show like how much you guys have just done to spread the word. I will show it to you guys tomorrow. So please keep spreading the word. We've got some really great prizes. We've got some fun prizes coming up later tonight, and don't forget our grand prizes, which just keep growing because people keep donating to the grand prizes. And you're a winner just by being here, because you're getting all this great education for free, and you're going to grow your business. That's the beauty of this. You're going to grow your business. If you only walk away with one thing here, and maybe it's that you're going to retweet somebody every day, you're going to grow your business. That's the thing. You will grow your business. So here's how you win some prizes. You go to twitter-winner.com and send people to the newlifeevent.com to register. But you can hit the retweet button on newlifeevent.com. Make sure you use the hashtag NLE. That will put you in for all the different prizes. And we have this wonderful little chat room on Twitter that's just so much fun. And all the directions that you need is on twitter-winner.com. There's a Twitter for Business kit that you can get for free. There's a coupon code. It has all of that in there. It tells you how to do all of that. There's a survival guide for the New Life event that shows you what Remember the Milk is, how to use it for keeping track of all this stuff. Just use all of these tools to help you. And we're going to keep going because, let's see, we have 15. We are officially halfway through the New Life event. So if you have any questions, send them to me through Twitter, New Life event, or we've got a questions box on the right-hand side that thankfully Mama's helping me with, because I could not do this by myself. And I'm going to pass on the controls over to the lovely Margarita and let her tell you a little bit about her. So can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have two companies. I am a professional organizer. That is what I started my company over 6 years ago, and I'm a new media evangelist. So I started my second company just over a year and a half ago, teaching people how to use LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all for business. But my true passion, true passion is LinkedIn. I love using LinkedIn. So that's what I do. I'm a mother of 3 fabulous children. I have a great husband who supports me, and in all my endeavors, and you know, all around. I'm Canadian. Yay.
Love it. Love it.
And yeah, so I'm here, and I'm very good friends with Time Out Mom and Alison Graham. So I'm the sandwich between those two girls tonight, and we're gonna bring it all together for you guys to really see how networking and then bringing into social media, how we expand that to make your businesses fantastic.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let you take over. And thank you so much for this education. I think all you've got to do is hit that from the beginning. Yep, you're good to go. Yep, I'll hit mute.
There we go. Okay, perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much, Shauna. I always love to start my presentation with this visual, and I think that the reason is so many people, when they come to social media, but especially when they come to LinkedIn, are really at a crossroads. They have figured out they have to do something, and they're not quite sure what they're doing. So most people are, you know, when I ask them how they're doing and how they're understanding what they're doing with social media, they're just, you know, confused, they're unclear, they're definitely perplexed, and they're looking for some sort of guidance. So that's what I'm doing here tonight, to see how we can get you through LinkedIn and how you can use some of the advanced features. So who am I? I am Margarita Ibbott, and my company is called Link Learning, and I am a LinkedIn evangelist because I love talking about LinkedIn as a social media platform, but more importantly, as an evangelist, I love evangelize. What's the word I want? I want to evangelize other companies. So it is through LinkedIn that I can give those recommendations, those those bon mots, as they would say in French. What we want to do is to be able to talk about different companies, and it provides me a great opportunity, business to business, to say this is a great company and you should pay attention. And by the way, I have my company, I have my resume, I am on LinkedIn, and I invite you to connect up with me. So the whole presentation, really, we're going to talk about just a little bit of an introduction so you understand who I am and why I use LinkedIn. What's the difference between networking and social networking, using social media? Who uses LinkedIn? Why we use LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is all about, and then what comes next, which is where a lot of people stumble. They sign up to LinkedIn and then they don't know where to go from there. So the what next is the fantastic features that will help you really make your profile stand out and really make you a lot more successful in social networking. So as I said before, I am a professional organizer, and I help both families, executives, small business owners bring order to their life. So whether it's decluttering a closet, whether it's setting up particular systems in somebody's home office, or whether it's doing a complete company purge and we decide to have a purge party and we go and clean up an entire department, that is what I do. I love being a professional organizer. I'm in my 6th year of doing that. But the reason that I started my second company, linklearning.ca, is because I am a small business owner like many of you, and I found that it was very difficult to be able to pay for the type of advertising that traditionally we would be using, whether it was print ads, whether it was newspapers, whether it was posters or radio. And I just sort of started using social media more and more. And Link Learning came around because one day I was at a fantastic mastermind group, and I said, you know what, I would have paid anybody money just to teach me how to ramp up to social media. And that's basically what we decided to do. We decided to put together a seminar and help people really cut to the chase. The other important thing that you need to know about me is that I am a blogger. You can find me at downshiftingpos.blogspot.com, and that's where I blog about. I have an organizing blog, and I also have a blog for linkedlearning.wordpress.com about linked learning. And it's important because, once again, in social media circling the wagon, that is the basis for all of my where I send out information about myself, my company, who I like, who I'm working with, my clients, all of that. I don't have to explain social media evangelist. I've already done that. But more importantly, I really truly consider myself and define myself as a connector, as a networker. So the success of my companies has really been to the amount of networking that I do. So I always like to take any opportunity that I can to meet new people and to grow my business. And it's really important that, because I use LinkedIn to help you understand that that's what you are going to be doing. LinkedIn is virtual networking, so that's what I want you to get to. So just a quick synopsis. Most of you already know, but it all ties into the presentation. What is social media? Well, as most of you know, it is an umbrella term for technology that's used for social interaction. So the difference between Web 2.0 versus Web 3.0 is 3.0 is the mobile part of it. So everything that we're doing right now as far as social media is concerned, you want to be able to take that on to your phone, use it on your iPad, and be able to take it on the go. This is extremely important because you can get your LinkedIn updates on your BlackBerry or on your iPhone or on your Android phone. You can also, we were just discussing earlier, Shauna was discussing earlier, using the barcodes. I'm just going to put that in, air quotes, barcodes to really be able to capture somebody's information, and that's another great way of being able to, as part of your barcode, having your LinkedIn profile within there, so people can go to LinkedIn and find you directly. So if social media is about generating content created by you, then we want to make sure that on those profiles you see that content, whether it's your website, whether it's your blog, whether it's you have certain Twitter feeds that you want going towards, not all of them, just a few of them, tweets that you specifically want people to see. That's what's important. So in a conversation and in networking, the most important thing that you're having when you're in a business relationship is that you are going to do business with people that you like, you know, and you trust. So the LKT factor is extremely important. And when you're creating that within your social networking platforms, you're just going to reinforce that with your LinkedIn. So the good thing about LinkedIn is that it's really important. You get to see all sorts of things about what the people are doing that you are involved with. So if you are able to talk about something that you found out about them on their profile when you're at that networking event, when you see the profile picture and you recognize this person, it's a great way to break the ice. So it is also about, talking about things that are interesting to other people. Now, going on to what social media is not. It's not instant gratification, and I say that that's so important because so many people just sort of expect to connect up with people automatically, whether on Twitter or on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and then expect that they're going to go from this introduction to linking in together, on LinkedIn, to then all of a sudden they're just going to pitch them right away the business. That's not what you want to do. Just like you are having a conversation, as Allison said, to pay attention and to find out what's interesting about that person and how they would be interested in your business and how you can help them in real life networking event. Social media also for LinkedIn is the same thing. You're reading other people's updates. You are finding out what they're doing. You are listening to what's important to them, and so it's the same thing as if you're standing right in front of somebody. So then afterwards, LinkedIn is also not a place that you should be using spam. It's not a place just to sell your products or your services. It's once again a social networking platform. So it's a place for you to be able to engage your customers, and that's where you're trying a lot to get to know people and also to find out how you can help them. What is their problem, what they're having difficulties with, and how you can provide that solution. More importantly, when I look through my LinkedIn feed, I'm looking to see, the benefits that somebody can bring to the table. So not just in particular that they want to sell me a product, but maybe in their update that they'll have the ability to tell me how they can actually help me. So briefly sort of jumping off the social media and going into the networking part of it, I just want to sort of reiterate just a couple of points that are really important in understanding networking. And that is, in fact, when you're networking, you're connecting with others and you're letting others connect with you. And you're trying to establish a relationship, whether it's to get a job, you're seeking to get more business, you're seeking for a referral, maybe they know somebody that you don't know and you'd like that introduction. When you network, you're hoping you go there to promote your business. You're not just there to talk about your kids and, what went wrong with the fax machine or the computer this morning. You're there to actually promote your business and to get notice. But more importantly, what you have to take into consideration is that I believe strongly in business karma. So what goes around comes around in a very good sense is if you help people connect with other people that need to do business, and you're not necessarily doing a direct business transaction with that person, but you're helping them get business somewhere else, that will come back to you. So being a connector is extremely important. The other thing is you want to be always top of mind. You want people to think, when they think of professional organizer in London, Ontario, I want them to think of Margarita Ibbott. I want them to think that I am the one-stop shopping for them to figure out how they can get the help that they need, whether it's in their home or in their, in their office or for a family member. The other thing that's changed a lot is the whole idea that you can only network by actually physically going to a networking event, by sitting around and having a couple of martinis or being out on the golf course, that this is the way that you network. I think that is really changed, and it's really changed because we're now part of a greater community, and the statistics as far as how many, the percentage of men to women on LinkedIn is almost equal. So you will find that the number of influences of those who are influencing are in fact pretty equal. So it's not just the guys doing any networking, just for any of you women business owners. Okay, I just need to go to my next slide, and just give me a sec here. I don't know why it doesn't want to let me go to my next slide here. Shauna, are you there?
I'm eating Pop-Tarts, but I'm here.
I'm sorry, hon. I seem to have been locked out here, and I cannot progress to my next slide.
It's not allowing. Okay, hit your escape button.
Yeah, I am doing that, and it's not doing it.
I
don't know why it's not doing that. Okay, let me just try. Sorry, everyone, for this.
Oh, hey, this happens. I mean,
okay,
computers are wonderful.
Right there again.
There we go.
So how we go? Okay.
And then actually go if you can do it that way.
I'm just going to scroll here. Yeah. So
perfect. Okay.
So we just get back to this. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So,
no worries.
Okay, so we'll just go forward on the whole networking and how this is all going to be. So when you network, you have the first impression. You're creating your personal brand. People are getting to know you. They know who you are as a business person. You give them, a card. The second impression, of course, is the active living. Are you listening to them tell you about their company, what they're doing at this networking event, why you came to meet other people. So that's the physical, you've just met somebody. And then the third impression that people get when you are networking, of course, is to stay connected. So if you do make those notes on the back of the card, if you do, after that intense conversation that you had, just like Alison Graham was saying, you want to follow up with those people that you had that conversation where they are looking to do business with you, then you want to stay connected. So how can you do that? You can do that through LinkedIn, right? And that's what I want to show you today. So the lasting impression part for you is to provide a solution. And how do you do that? Well, you're going to provide a solution because they're going to ask you questions and you're going to have a conversation. But maybe the fact that you're just linking in with somebody right at the beginning does not necessarily mean that they need your services right away, but they will in the future. And having a connection through LinkedIn lets you have that contact. So the way we network today in 2011 is many of us use LinkedIn. Many of us join the party in Twitter, and we certainly see our friends and contacts through Facebook, but also through our business pages. And so the more you get to know somebody, And the more traits that you get to know, then the richer the picture is that you have of this person that you're going to network. And I think Scott Stratton has put it the best as far as networking and social media and networking and building your business brand. The first time you meet someone, IRL, so in real life, isn't an introduction. It's an escalation of the relationship. So that's really important to understand when you are social networking, that you're going to get to know somebody a little bit better because you would have looked at their profile, you would have looked at their picture, you would have looked at their interests, you would have seen where they worked, when they were working somewhere else, what associations they belong to. So you, at that point in time, would not have had your first impression of that person is going to be a full-on picture. And when you actually meet them in real life, you'll be able to open up a conversation because you already know something a little bit about them. So, meat of the matter, let's get to LinkedIn. LinkedIn was established in 2003. It's got over 90 million members in over 200 countries. There's a new member that joins LinkedIn every single second. The first time I did this presentation, I'm going to say about 10 months ago, maybe close to a year ago, it was 70 million people were on LinkedIn. So that just gives you an idea how exponentially it's growing. And every single executive Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies belongs to LinkedIn. Why is that an important stat? Because many companies, this is a takeaway that you got to remember, many companies will not let their employees be on Twitter or Facebook, okay, unless maybe it's over lunch or whatever, but they will let their employees be on LinkedIn. So all of a sudden you have the ability to access all sorts of people who maybe are not on Facebook and are not on Twitter, but are those professionals that want to do the social media thing and have found a platform. So earlier, Shauna, when we were starting at the beginning of the conversation, somebody said, you know what, I have a LinkedIn, but it's just for professionals. That's the big difference of it being just for professionals. Anybody can be on LinkedIn. Anybody can use LinkedIn. But for those people who are not normally found on Facebook or Twitter, you're going to find them on LinkedIn. So that's a huge, huge takeaway for those people who are looking to maybe get to that CEO, that CFO, that decision maker. You may be able to find them on LinkedIn where you otherwise would never have come across them. So that's really important. LinkedIn is your online resume, and it provides a personal URL just for you. So if you're looking for a job or you're looking for, I was working with a group of financial advisors, fairly big here in the city, and I Googled financial advisors, London, Ontario, and I could not find these guys to save my life. But I did find the LinkedIn profile of one of the managing partners. And when I went in to do the LinkedIn training with them, right, because I do one-on-one training, I said to them, I couldn't find you except for the LinkedIn profile. So that is a great way for people to find you, is through your personal URL on LinkedIn. It creates, once again, fabulous search engine optimization opportunities in your descriptor, in your job, in your specialties. It also has a fantastic search engine within itself that you can advanced search in LinkedIn for the specific. You're looking specifically for a chiropractor in New Jersey that specifically deals with seniors. You could plug that in and you will have a list of people who will come up. It's a great way to find and get introductions. I often say to people, you know what, I know who you're looking for. Just recently somebody was telling me they were looking for somebody in corporate sales, and I happen to know a friend that was looking for a job, a sales job in corporate sales. And I said to the woman, I have the perfect person, and I'm going to introduce you through LinkedIn. Why is that just a great idea? Because they can see each other's profiles, they know whether, and then you make the introduction and they know that there's a person in between who's making that introduction. So it's a great way to be able to do that introduction virtually without having to go out for lunch or wait for the next networking event or just sort of send an email. It already sends that person's profile to them so they have an idea who it is. If you're a small business owner and you have events that you have in order to, whether it's a customer appreciation, whether it's an open house, you have the ability to post events, and that is another great use of LinkedIn. Within groups, you have the ability to put to have discussions, to put questions, to post basically in a forum. So, and you can specifically do that with groups that are your set target market. So once again, another feature that we're going to discuss. And of course, lastly is the ability to actually have yet another way to search engine optimize your company by having a company page right on LinkedIn. So in January, just to give you an idea, just this past month, there were 16.6 unique visitors. So that means first time, people that came first time to LinkedIn, there they were, 16.6 million. There's over 12 million small business owners, and I bet you a whole bunch of those are people that you want as a client. The average user is 41 years old and earns more than $110,000. Do you know what? For me, those are people potentially that have a full-time job, that have a full running business, whatever, but they are there and they have the capabilities to pay for those services that you're providing. Like I said, we're split halfway, pretty much 54% male, 46% female, but more importantly, and this is another takeaway, people, 42% of them that are on LinkedIn are the decision makers. And I'm sure those are the people that you want to get to know. I've covered this already, like I said. Who is on LinkedIn? Every Fortune 500 company, those who are employed, those who are currently employed but maybe looking to make a change, those who are looking for employment, right? So if you're unemployed, you're a student, you're just graduating, you just finished your master's, your university degree, whatever it is that you are doing, it's a great place to be and to look for employment, to be on LinkedIn. And those, of course, it's one of the top recruiting websites, if not the top recruiting website as we speak. Every single HR department in every single Fortune 500 company has a premium account with LinkedIn, right? This is where a lot of people come to recruit other people, so you want to make sure that your profile is gorgeous. LinkedIn is based on the idea of 6 degrees of separation. So if any of you are old enough to remember, back in the 80s, there's a game called Six Degrees from Kevin Bacon. And the whole premise was that everyone knows somebody else by just knowing 6 people. And the last time that I did this presentation, I was so surprised to find out that it was actually Renee who knows Kevin Bacon. So for me, it was actually 2 degrees of separation because I know Shauna, and Shauna, well, her mom is Renee, and then there she goes. She had met Kevin Bacon at some sort of event, so we had a great laugh about it. But that's what it's all based on, the 6 degree of separation. So if you're looking at a slide right now, you'll see that my connections, I have 357 connections, and those connections, totally all of their connections comes to 42,000 people that we're connected to. And then their connections, so a friend of a friend, we're looking at 2.9 million people. So when you add those two numbers together, you get the ability to be able to access more than 3 million people. Now, a lot of people have a problem with this number, but personally I think to myself, listen, if I even get a fraction of these people, to be able to contact, that's just a great way to grow my business. So if you look right here, your LinkedIn, I'm certainly hoping that your LinkedIn profile has a descriptor. So this is the part right here. This is the description. You want to make sure to put some really juicy verbs about what you do. I'm a professional organizer. I'm a speaker. I'm a workshop facilitator. Right away, we're getting those keywords in that people are getting. So search optimize, your search optimized in here, right in here where it is in your descriptor, and then later on in your summary. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go, this is the descriptor, so you can go in there and it'll clearly say what you do, what your keywords are. So one of the unique features or advanced features that I want to really introduce you to is something like is your recommendation. In order to have a 100% profile on LinkedIn, you must have recommendations. And so one of those things that I say to people is please, 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 please do not do a tit-for-tat recommendation. You are welcome to ask people to recommend you, but make sure that if they say, sure, I'll do the recommendation as long as you recommend me, that you give it some space, because it just looks really cheesy if you're one person and then the next day the other person, because you can tell it's dated, it's time dated, it's date stamped, so that you'll be able to see that. So you do want those genuine recommendations, because that is basically a testimonial to how good you are. So make sure that you use that as a unique. Once again, like I said, with your own personal URL to bring you to LinkedIn, I always encourage people to put their LinkedIn personal profile right on your business card. Why is that? Why is that important? Because you have the ability right here to put your website, your blog, your Twitter handles right here, and then afterwards it'll also have the ability, I connect my blog right onto there. So really it's one-stop shopping. You're not sending people to, okay, my blog is over here, my website is over here, and my Twitter feed is over here, and my Facebook page is over here. They can just come to LinkedIn and click on those individual links and get you going where you need to go. It's clean, it's precise, and it absolutely has a great way of providing you that one-stop shopping. That URL, that LinkedIn URL that you have for your page is just awesome. So put that on your business card for sure. The other unique advanced feature that I want you to really consider is either putting a presentation, so a Google presentation or a SlideShare presentation onto your profile. So this is mine right here, and it gives you right away, in 9 slides I explain what I do as a professional organizer. This is one of the slides, right? So it clearly shows you what I was up against, describes what it is, who I'm dealing with, and as you scroll through the PowerPoint, the Google presentation, you'll see a before and an after. So I have a before and an after of an office. I have a before and after of an executive closet, of a woman executive in her closet. And then the next slide will tell you what my service is, and then the last slide will tell you how to get a hold of me. Use those PowerPoint presentations, whether it's to tell people about your product, show people your product, tell them about your services, let them know about your seminars. Great, great advanced feature. The next advanced feature I want to talk about that is extremely important is the use of events. You have the ability to add an event, to maintain an event, to go to events. So for example, I attended Blistum in October of last year, and it gave me the ability to say that I attended, but it's not one that I organized, okay? The Tech Alliance one here, where I spoke at Tech Alliance with one of the professors from University of Western Ontario, and we presented how to network and how to use networking in social media as an entrepreneur. You know, I'm able to say that this is where I'm presenting. Come and see me speak. Join me and learn what it is that I am doing. Another great thing about events as an advanced feature is it lets you see who is attending. If you look right here, it'll tell you who is attending. So as Alison Graham mentioned in her networking webinar that she just did, we're talking about doing your homework, doing the pre-conference homework. LinkedIn lets you do that pre-conference homework, okay? So you can, if you're going to a conference and you see where other people are going, you have the ability to look at their profile, see who's going to be there, see who's going to be a presenter, see who's going to be an exhibitor, see a lot about them that you don't necessarily have to just go to their website. You just have a quick snapshot of what they do or what they're going to talk about, and then if you want to, you can proceed on. So using events is really a great advanced feature. Another advanced feature, as we just sort of hum along here, is the use of groups. I really encourage people to use groups, and for example, right here, you'll see that there's 2 large London groups that I belong to, and I one, enjoy attending the events because they've become sort of the social networking, how to social network with other people. So we're getting to know each other on LinkedIn, but what's even better is we have the ability to meet in IRL, in real life, sort of, you know, 3-4 times a year. So join groups that are of interest to you, join groups where your target market is, and then within those groups you have the ability to have discussions, to answer questions, to put in a poll. Okay. Moving along, we're going to another advanced feature. This one is answers. Good thing about answers is you can ask a question. You can ask a question about anything that you want, and it'll go to everyone in LinkedIn. And the thing is that you actually will go, if you're wondering where the answers is you've got to go in here. You go into the More tab right here, and then afterwards you're going to go into you're going to add answers here, and what it'll do is it'll actually bring you to the tab that says answers, and you can ask any questions. You can do a search and say, you know, disorganized desk, or clutter on my desk, or what do you do with a messy desk? Well, isn't that the perfect opportunity for me to answer that question? Not to sell my services, but to provide a solution for somebody. And then once you've provided that solution or that tip or that help or provided the expertise that you want, you've now opened the doors to have that engaging conversation that you could possibly connect up with somebody. I put out a question saying, how do you keep your desk clear of clutter? I had 46 responses. Some of them were like, I don't have a problem with it. That's great. You're not my target market, but the bottom line is I still said, thank you for your input. I'm really glad you're one of the team. You're one of the people that I love in this world. Then there was other people who I made suggestions. If you're having trouble with your filing system, you may want to try A, B, and C. And so at that point in time, once again, I'm just engaging. I'm not selling my services. They can answer back or comment back, and at that point in time, the dialogue may lead to, and it did, in sort of 5 instances, it led to, I'd love to talk to you about this more, and it led to 3 instances of me going in to do an assessment and to actually do work for people. And that's all because I put a question out there that people answered, and, you know, so consider what you could possibly ask. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about very quickly, like remember people, this is just a really quick overview of all of the advanced features. I do specific one-on-one training. I can work through with this with you specifically to help you develop those answers, develop those polls, develop those strategies that are particular to your profile, so it'll help you promote your profile and stand out on LinkedIn, which is extremely important. But another thing that you can do is you can ask a poll. And it's like any other, you're asking a question, you're giving them 5 different answers, and you'll be able to amass a large amount of information. The metrics on this are unbelievable in LinkedIn. It'll tell you their job function, their age, their title, their gender. You know what? It is just a great, great feature to use. So when I was talking to Melissa Learman this afternoon, we were just kind of chatting about things that she thought, that I thought, you know what's important to you on LinkedIn? Because she is the Twitter queen, and you're going to hear about her, you know, in just about 20 minutes. She's going to be on. She's going to do a fantastic presentation on Twitter. But we were talking about what the differences were. And so I just want to briefly go over the differences between LinkedIn versus Facebook and Twitter. So LinkedIn is definitely more business focused. It is virtual or social networking as opposed to just social media or just being social on social media. It's really, truly networking. It's a lot more formal. The voice that you should be using is really much more of a business voice. We don't have chirps in LinkedIn. You don't want to talk about what you had for lunch or for breakfast. You do want to talk about the presentation that you're working on, the client that you're whose problem you just solved. I posted out, I was working with a hoarder. We got rid of 75 bags of clothes. It was just she was so happy. Somebody contacted me later on and said, I had no idea you work with hoarders. And I said, absolutely I do. So I'm not divulging anything private about that client. It just sort of said this is what I was doing. So LinkedIn has been around longer than Facebook and Twitter. It's just based on the 6 degrees of separation. It focuses on networking, on using companies and groups. So that's very important to be able to use those groups as to specifically target where you want to find somebody. Once again, as I said before, companies permit people to have membership onto LinkedIn, whereas they don't on other things. And it also lets you have the ability to use social media and engage just like you would on the other ones. Quick rules of engagement on LinkedIn is create a full and complete profile. Your reputation is everything, so make sure that everything is correct. Don't embellish, because people will call you on it now. People can call up, find out who that supervisor was or who that person was that you were working with. So make sure that you are authentic, truly authentic in your profile. Connect up with people that you know. There are 2 philosophies on LinkedIn. You can be a lion, which is a LinkedIn open networker, which means you will go out there and aggressively find people to connect with, and you will connect with anybody. They are called lions. They exist, and people adhere to that philosophy that all they're doing is connecting. But for me, I think a lion should be in something like Twitter as opposed to LinkedIn. I am an extensive networker, but my connections are under 400 right now. I absolutely like to know who I'm connecting with, who is on my list. The only exception that I have to that is when I do, for example, a presentation like this, when I do presentations where I'm asking people to link in with me to, and I encourage you to find me on LinkedIn and say, I listened to the webinar, I absolutely loved it. I would like to connect in, to link in with you and be a connection. I don't have a problem. But that tends to be my philosophy. I'd like to know who is in my connection, because people will then know that whoever I am recommending, whoever I'm evangelizing, whoever I'm talking about, I know who that person is. Be clear about what you want to do with LinkedIn, whether you want to be finding a job, you're looking for leads, you're looking to recommend people, that's really important. LinkedIn, like I said, is a lot more serious, so you don't want to use your avatar. You want to use your picture. LinkedIn does not encourage you whatsoever to use a company logo. Please avoid doing that. It is actually your personal profile that's on there, so we should be seeing your picture on there. I've already spoken to this, that don't solicit connections unless you know them. If you met them at a in real life networking event and you had a genuine connection and you feel you want to be able to follow up, certainly take the time to link up with them on LinkedIn. When I do that and I've connected with somebody on LinkedIn, their business card goes in the garbage. Don't need it anymore because all the information I want is usually on their profile. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this up really, really quickly. I'm going to skip over this. You know, you just want to make sure that some of the advanced features that are really important are to make those recommendations, to make those referrals, to make it look personal, and using a lot of these advanced features will really help you to have a better presence and a better profile. Okay, my parting words, and I'm almost on, Shauna, so you'll be happy to know that. My parting words really are, do your homework before you go to an event. Look at people's profiles. Make sure that you engage them, that you're talking about what you do in business, and you comment. If somebody said, you know, I rocked this presentation, then you make sure to put a comment and say, so happy you had a great presentation. Looking forward to your event. You know, I can hardly wait to hear what you have to say about the presentation that you're doing at the networking event. Constantly be commenting on things, because that continues to be a search engine optimization technique. Every time you use social media and you put it out there, all of those beautiful, you know, Google Spideys are all picking that all up, right? So beware of the lion, as I just said it, so I'm not going to say it again. You know, pick and choose who you want to be connected with on LinkedIn. Be your authentic self. Try to update it once a day, Shauna, not once a month, but just to do the same thing. And the good thing is that you can update your LinkedIn, and you can send it to your Twitter account, and you could send it to your Facebook account by just doing hashtag FB. It'll send it automatically to Facebook. One last moment of caution that I want to just remind me, it just tweaked into my head about Twitter. You do not want to connect your Twitter feed into your LinkedIn profile. Too much information, too often. It's a different voice, it's a different platform, but certainly whenever you want to have a tweet, go to LinkedIn because it's specific about promoting something or your business. All you have to do to that tweet is to put hashtag IN, and it'll send it to update on your LinkedIn. So that's another great takeaway. So finally, connect with me. Find me on LinkedIn. Look at my profile. It's Margarita Ibbott. It's Margarita Ibbott. I'd love to connect up with you on LinkedIn, and hopefully this has helped you find out that LinkedIn is a very complex, layered social networking platform that you can use to grow your business. I'm done. Shauna, are you there?
I was talking.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm sitting there talking to myself. So that was very interesting. And you know, here's the big question. And then you're going, Shauna? Oh, I love talking to myself. All right, so the biggest question, which I know that you covered, but I want to make sure that you do cover it again, because so many people ask this question. So they were basically asking, do I want to put my logo or my picture? And a lot of people ask this question, so I want to make sure that you do cover that answer one more time for us. I know you covered it, but just make sure we get
very, very clear. It should be your picture, and it should be a professional picture. It should not be a little tiny crop picture of you when you were at a wedding or, you know, you at the cottage. It really should be a professional picture so that when people are looking to network with you, you're going to recognize the picture, and it's going to be you. It's not you 10 years ago. It's not you, you know, 50 pounds away. It's you today. So go in, get a professional picture, make sure it's an up-close and personal one, and that's what should be on, not your corporate logo. You can put your corporate logo on your company page, but that is actually one of the rules of LinkedIn. I don't know who polices it, but that is actually one of the rules, that it should be an image of yourself, not of your company.
And it's a totally different mind frame of networking that you're doing over there based upon
Completely different.
Facebook or based on,
Yes.
you know, Twitter.
Yes.
It's just a totally different
Yeah.
mindset over there. But
It is.
For the one lady that was scared because she didn't want to seem not professional, don't worry about that.
Exactly. You know what it is when you're doing the descriptor of what it is that you're doing or what your company does, don't write it out in paragraphs, way too wordy, okay? Just do it in bullet points. So whether you're just using an asterisk and then, you know, one line and you're putting in those keywords or those descriptors. So if I'm a financial advisor, I want to make sure those keywords are insurance, disability, critical care, group benefits, right? You want to have those keys, those key phrases in there. Then, you know, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It just has to look. You want people to go there and realize it's not your Facebook page, right? It's not talking about somebody's wedding or whatever. It's more, this is a professional, you know, that's your resume.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and the thing is, though, but just keep in mind, you still want to be yourself. You still want to be yourself because, you know, if you maintain yourself as one type and then as soon as they get on the phone with you, you're like this totally different person.
Yeah. But you know what? You can be your total authentic self and still maintain a profile on LinkedIn that lets people see who you are, right? I think it's, you know what, Shauna, this is a perfect example. Let me give you, I tell people this all the time. I do it in my presentations because I just think it's hilarious. So it's, you know, with somebody that I was looking at their profile, and what they did was they had an avatar. And this avatar was of, okay, I hope I can describe this so people can clearly understand. So it's sort of Jesus, you know, the Sacred Heart Jesus. So it's the heart, you know, it's the Jesus who's standing there. 2 arms, you know, hands out. The heart is sort of red and it's, you know, it's so, and then, but the head was of Elvis. Okay, this is this person's avatar. So I said in my presentation, we all know who, you know, Jesus is. We all love Elvis, but do we trust the person behind this avatar, this profile picture? Right? And the answer would be no.
Oh, I think we're still seeing your last one. Is your screen froze? Did you put pause screen?
Yeah, no, I think that's, yeah, no. I'm going to come right up to the front so you can actually see what I look like on my, there. That's my picture there.
And I love your glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank
you. I
just
had to tell you.
I bought them in Montreal. So. But you know what? I think what's really important, and what I'm really trying to get across to people is that it's just a different platform. It doesn't mean that you cannot engage with people, and it's just you're on LinkedIn, you're doing more business-to-business networking, right? Whereas everything else, Twitter and Facebook, can be business-to-consumer. This is more of a business-to-business platform. So if you're looking to do business with other businesses, you need to be on LinkedIn, right? You need to have that, you know, just going back to the picture really quickly, like not a word of a lie, the guy who had this is hilarious. He is just the funniest guy in the whole world. He's a great guy. He's a fantastic businessman. But the thing is that that was him showing his personality in an avenue that it just wasn't, that picture, that avatar, as funny as it was looking at it, was just not really appropriate. And like one of his partners said in the meeting, you know, before I went into this meeting with this company, I didn't know that I was pitching business. What did I do? The first thing I did was I hopped onto LinkedIn and I looked for them, and I looked for their company, and I looked for their profile, and I was able to do a quick search on the people that I was meeting with, right? So keep that in mind as small business owners. Keep that in mind. If people are looking to do business with you, a lot more people, 90 million people are using LinkedIn, and it grows 1 per second, right? It is the fastest growing social networking platform that we have today. So it is imperative that people are on LinkedIn. And once you set up your profile, just check in with it every once in a while. But make sure to complete the profile. Don't just set it up, put in a couple of things, and then not complete it. You know, that's definitely an advanced technique. Fill it out. Take the time to fill it out.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Great information. And thank you again for being here. We certainly do appreciate it. And just wonderful, wonderful information. And yeah. I know that after tonight, there's going to be a lot more people that sign up and or actually pay attention to their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we want.
Perfect.
Yep.
So that's all I want, is for people to really understand how to use LinkedIn for
Absolutely.
business.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you again for coming on. You have a bunch of people to answer to on Twitter, so we'll let you go do that. And
okay, I will do that then.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Shauna. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Thank you.